What's up, y'all? It's the Standout Podcast where everyone and anyone could be a standout. And today I got somebody who, you know, we used to work together at ShopRite, and now she's really coming to her own as an artist. I linked with her at the Marcus Rodriguez Experience concert. She told me, she's like, I'm getting into this music shit. Like, I'm gonna do this. And she was already performing before. You were already performing before. Yep. But you're like, I'm gonna start taking this shit seriously. Yeah. And right after she said that, like, her actions matched and Fractured came out. Right. So I have NadaButVibes with me right now. What's going on?
What's up? I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here in the first place.
It's a crazy thing, like even starting off with that story. Yeah. Like when you look back at your life and you're like, because I know where I was at ShopRite at the time, and I'm like, I was so deep into music. Like, I was so deep into trying to leave there and fucking perform and like put on my outfits and be out and like all that stuff. Right. And right now we're here. I'm a podcaster interviewing you. Just tell me, like, right now, the world when you're on now, being able to really take music seriously right now and like really try to get into this deeply.
So honestly, I think and it's a journey, because like looking back, you know, from where we started and where we met, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I was like literally figuring that out. And, you know, I knew I wanted to do something music related, because I'm like, that always stuck with me like as a kid. Yeah. But, you know, like knowing I could really just start anywhere. And now, especially in this day and age, there's so many opportunities. It's so easy to, you know, distribute your music, put it out there. I'm like, why not? Yeah. And like, I wanted to take that risk. I've always like, willing to take risks. I'm willing to challenge myself. So that's one thing with the music. I feel like now I'm starting to really understand how much of a journey it is. Yeah. And I love so far like seeing my growth and growing into that. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of that too, you know, you said when you were younger, this was something you thought about. You know, as a young kid, I never thought I could rap. I always wanted to be a ball player. Like, I always rap the stuff up like AI and shit. Like, I always wanted to be that. So like when you think back, like, was music really played in your home a lot? Was it really just always around you? Because I feel like every time I talk to somebody about their music career, how it started, it comes from like, yo, when I was young, they were playing this, we were playing that. So what was going on in the, you know, the household that you were at, and what was being played and stuff like that influenced you to do this now?
Sheesh. Well, I mean, I grew up on a lot of things. So mostly on like, you know, my parents' Latin culture. You know, I grew up on a lot of salsa, bachata, merengue, you know, just like from different cultures, ballads, Spanish ballads. But I also heard, like, I was kind of like into the kind of like what 100.5 be playing, like light rock favorites.
Okay.
You know, like, I mean,
wow. Okay. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah. So, you know, I knew a little bit of that because my parents, that's how they were able to learn English, by listening to this like music.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So that was one way. And, you know, I also grew up on like my sister's influences, like the 2000s R&B, hip hop, like Ja Rule, Fat Joe, like, I just love that. But like, I feel like that was always prominent in my household. Like my mom, you know,
music was always around. Music was just always around.
Play it. They always dance. Still try to sing. My mom, while she's cooking, cleaning, we're doing a whole like deep cleanse of the house. I swear, like, she would just blast the music, and I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm like, I know it's cleaning day.
That always happens too. I remember when I used to stay at my abuela's house, man. When you hear that cumbia upstage, you're like,
cumbia,
you're like,
I'm like, no, it's that day. She'd be like, get the mop, get the broom,
get the mop, get the laundry. You're like,
damn, it's that day again.
Why, Lord, why? But in terms of that, you know, like you're saying about your Latin culture, you know, in this song Fractured, you shocked the shit out of me, because at first it's like you're speaking in English, I understand, and then you go into like a whole verse in Spanish, and I'm like, yo hablo un poquito, like I only speak I only speak a little bit, so whatever she's saying, it's working, but it isn't. So tell me a little bit about that. Do you want to get more into like Spanish music and try to venture out, make like diverse different albums and stuff like that?
For sure, 100%. Okay. Yeah, that's one thing actually for the EP that's dropping this Saturday. Okay. I got one like reggaeton based song, so I go, you know, getting bilingual.
Yeah. Yeah. One that I won't understand, but we still go support. Right. We got that's
it. No, but facts. With future projects that I got coming out, they definitely got either all completely in Spanish. If not, it's just it's bilingual. So yeah. And then some of the like influences like Lolo Zouai or Lauren Juregi that I know they're bilingual, trilingual, and they incorporate that into their music. So I was like, why not? Why not?
Yeah, especially if you have it. I feel like that's one skill of my life that I can't stand that I don't have. My sister is younger than me and became fluent in Spanish. We still don't know how the fuck it happened. Damn, right? Okay. So, and my mom was Italian and was fluent in Spanish. And my ass didn't know shit about Spanish. I'm like the only one in the house. Like, what are y'all talking about? And they're like, well, you'll learn one day. And it's like, but you know, in terms of music, the fact that you have an EP dropping so soon, you know, and you have Fractured out right now, just talk to me a little bit about getting into the studio, because I know that's hard for a lot of people as well. That's not like an easy feat, and creating something is not an easy feat. So tell me about that process of actually getting up and be like, oh shit, I gotta go here today and like do this, you know?
Yeah. So fortunately, one of my boys named Marquise, he helped me.
I asked you about him, but go ahead.
Yeah, so freaking. He had like equipment from his studio, and I was able to purchase it off of him. So I was able to have my own home studio, literally recording in my closet. Now the mic is out of the closet, you know. But like that whole process, it I don't want to say it takes too long, but like when I'm definitely in the mode, it just flows out naturally because like once I have the vision, I want to execute it the way I want to. Like, and I have the idea of like how it's going to sound. Yeah. So usually it starts off by producing. Okay. I would like create the beat, feel off of it. And I'm like, okay, like what can I, like what can I build off of it? Like the cadence, the flow. And just like really like I feel like that's one thing. I'm really trying to match the vibe, really trying to match the aesthetic of the song. Right. So then like usually the producing takes me 1 to 2 days. Again, depends on how like how
that's just crazy to me. Are you the sole producer on this project as well? Like it's you?
Yeah. So for Fractured and then Nomad.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So you produced Fractured.
Yeah.
So like, when did you learn? Like, I'm really intrigued. Like, how did you learn how to? Because I've been trying to produce for years. I'm not just mathematically brain. Like, I'm not inclined. So where did you learn how to do that? Just YouTube University? Or?
Yeah, YouTube University.
Oh my god!
And wow, it's weird because like I don't have that much insight with music theory and everything. Right. The one class I probably took it was like digital design. We had one class that we were like able to make like a beat, and that was it. But that's the only thing I ever did.
It's fucking insane. Because Fractured sound like, I was like, oh well, this is like a YouTube beat. Like you know what I'm saying? And then to find out it's you, I'm like, holy shit. Like she's Dr. Dre in the shit by herself. Jesus Christ.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's insane.
Right.
Because I mean, the thing that's crazy about that too is like, now even knowing that, not only can you progress more as an artist, but now you own everything.
Yeah.
It's all yours. Right. Like you don't have to worry about paying Peter to pay Paul to pay that one.
Yeah.
Now people can pay you and come to you for your time. Like,
I'm saying,
so is that what you're trying to do more too? Like progress as a producer too? Or you're just, you know, an artist lane right now? Or
I feel like I want to progress in both aspects. As an artist, I feel like I'm doing that now. Like I feel like that's the main focus. But eventually I would love to produce, because originally that was my intention. I wanted to produce for other people. But I got a little selfish. I was like, damn, like this sounds so good. Like,
yeah, you want it for yourself.
Yeah. And it's like again, like, you know how I told you, like I had a vision for it. And I'm like, and I want to execute it the way I want it. Yeah. Like I don't want anyone throwing like just like anything on like the track. Like, I'm very I love to be very intentional with my work. That's crazy.
Yeah. You know, but in terms of that too, I also want to talk to you about your start, because it seems to me like you started like the whole like covers through TikTok thing. Like when I watched you, like I went back on your Instagram, I said, I remember her taking a microphone and just singing a cover and then posting it. Right. And I'm like, before nobody was doing that. And then now all of a sudden, every time I scroll Instagram, there's a new rapper outside in some fucking dingy place rapping a song. I'm like, was that just something where it was just like, I'm gonna just try this and see what Instagram feels like, or was it just like, yo, I think I could get followers off this and like have them really see me who I am and stuff?
I feel like it was a little bit of both because I'm like, I wanted to explore that, and then also see, I'm like, you know what, I think I got it. Like, you know, just building because I didn't have this confidence before. Like, I really had low self-esteem. So again, seeing that growth, my personal growth, I'm like, okay, I'm like, again, let me take that rest. I'm like, what else do I got to lose? Yeah. So I
think that's always cool too as an artist, like growing that confidence and seeing your work progress and seeing it go. But in terms of that too, you know, like you said, you bought the equipment from A. Marquise, all them people. I've seen you at a lot of different showcases with him, and you guys have like your own little circle right now. Like it's kind of like you, Bell, like all them, like it's like your own little circle. Right. Talk to me about him and your relationship with him and how that's progressed over time and what that's like.
Oh man, that's the bro, honestly. Yeah. I definitely look up to him in a way because he's helped me even like better my skills as mastering and recording, like engineering, all that stuff, you know? But the fact that we both have very like unique sounds, we had said like, why not combine the two, you know? So like he actually reached out to me and I was a little hesitant because I was just like, oh my God, I don't even have like anything out, you know? He's like, no, I like what you got. I'm like, word, okay. So we met up downtown and, you know, we discussed and he's like so like lax, so chill with me, and I'm over here like, trying to be like uptight. Proper, like, you know, uptight, trying to be like, okay, I can do this. Yeah. And we would meet before we actually had like everything together, like with the studio equipment, my home studio all set up. We'd meet at some like cafe in New Britain, and we would just produce, or he would play me a beat and he's like, all right, do you think you could write like a verse to it? I'm like, yeah. And then like I'll write like a verse in like an hour or two. And like we just got it going from that point on.
That's dope as fuck. That's, you know, I think that's the start of every great like relationship. And I think you need a lot of those in music. I think people don't realize like a lot of times in music, if you're by yourself, you're not really doing much. And I think that was like the plague of my career. Like I'm like, fuck everybody, I got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know, it's just like, because well, the thing is like, and I'll talk to you a little bit about this, like, you know, in terms of you being a creator, in terms of you doing everything by yourself, do you feel as if sometimes there is in CT that little bit of that sabotage, like somebody may see you doing something bigger and they're like, oh, well, let me come in and try to do this or try to do that. And it's like that, you know, it's like that backhanded support. It's like the we talking to your face, but we're also jabbing you in the back with the knife. Like, have you felt that yet? Or is it like all coming new to you and you're starting to peep things here and there?
Honestly, I haven't really
got that,
you know, but like I'm aware of it, you know, like, and that's one thing I very am mindful of. And that's why, like, again, like I try to just connect people as authentically as I can, because I'm like, at the end of the day, you really can't say anything negative to me because I'm not talking crap behind your back. Right. You know, like that's how I lead. I'm like, I only want people to like grow. If I could give constructive criticism, I'll say it to your face. Right. Of course. But you know, when it's needed, if you want it, you know? Right. So I'm not here to like invade in anyone's space and, you know, especially their own journey.
Just stay in your own lane.
Yeah, that's it. That's
all you really got to do. I wish people realized that. If you just shut the fuck up and stay in your own lane, you might do something big out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but listen, we got to get to the single Fractured. Talk to me about this, because this is like, this made me feel like I closed my eyes and saw every past ex that I ever had in my entire life. Was this song? I was like, Jesus Christ, like it's just practice. I'm like, oh yeah, come on, Nadia, what the fuck? Like, too, man. Yeah. So tell me about writing this song. Like, I know there's always comes that time where it's like you're writing something down and you're like, should I do this? Shouldn't I do this? All right, let's do it. Yeah. So tell me about the process of making this song. Was it just like any other day, or was it like, I gotta really think about this shit?
I feel like I really got to think about it, honestly. Yeah. But it came pretty fast too, you know? That's good. So when I like ended up like finished producing it in like a couple of days, I played it for my family and they're like, oh, like this is good. And I'm like, oh, thanks. You know, like I got my support from my family. But like when I came to writing it, I was like thinking, I'm like, I've been wanting to do something for my grandmother, whether it's like me including her into a music video or dedicating something to her. Yeah. So the reason why I even released it on March 10th, because it was her birthday that day.
Yeah, I had seen that.
Yeah. So I dedicated it to her because she actually went through a broken marriage. There was infidelity.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it's crazy. Like the story is crazy. Long story short, we had, they had like a helper, like a maid at the time. And my grandfather had knocked her up twice, mind you. And, they didn't even know, they didn't even assume that it was like, okay, like it was his, like, that's his kid or anything. Yeah. But the way he started acting about it was sus. And eventually, like, the community, like bonchinche, all that stuff in Peru.
Not the bonchinche. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, like, that, it eventually, like, people were, like, very, like, suspicious about what was going on. They were like, what's going on? And eventually, I believe it was, like, one of my, like, great aunts or like grandmother aunts, just aunts in general. So, like, she eventually talked to my grandmother, and she found out. And when, mind you, my parents, I think, came back from the US, and they all kind of like gathered around. They all had like dinner. My grandmother just announced like, hey, like, so I'm letting you guys know our matrimony is done. If he wants to stay here, if he wants to leave, whatever the case may be. But she had to kind of like suck it up.
Good for grandma.
Yeah, like she just like, and mind you, she's been like mad quiet about it. Like I knew something was up in my family growing up, but like I never knew it was to that like gravity.
To that extent, yeah. And
I was like, damn. So I was like, my grandmother sometimes goes to like a psychologist, because I'm like, older generations don't have that time to process their emotions. So I wanted to give her a space, same way like I'm giving my audience a space for them to like process their emotions and really express their situation.
I was going to talk to you about that a little bit. I'll let you finish.
Of course. So when it comes to writing it, I just kind of like put myself in her shoes and in a way use my own past experiences, my own past like relationships or just whatever dynamics that I have, like I just put it all in there. And even some of the words I was like, this seems like so strong, but I'm like, no. Just keep it. Cause like that's the point with art.
It's so, that's the thing about art. And it's funny that you mentioned this song. I'm gonna get to your spirituality and things later because you strike me as one of those people. But it's funny. I have like 5 songs about my mother that passed, right? And every time I listen to these 5 songs, I never drop them. And it's like, I think to me, it's something so deep. Like when you start talking about something where that was probably the biggest jab wound I ever had. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've had knives in my back. I've had fucking people break my bones, whatever. But when you see somebody that gave you life end, it's like, you're like,
that hurts, bro.
You're just like, and when I hear myself, there's one song I have, shout out to Black Friday, and it's over an Eminem beat. And like every time I hear that fucking song, it's like me wielding, because it was like right after like the thing, and it's like you hear my voice and how angry I am. And it's like when you're trying to create something, you can't be angry, you can't be this, you can't be that. You can be, but you have to draw back those emotions in order to make a good song. Right. So I definitely commend you for that, because it's just like, I feel like a lot of times, even though it didn't happen to you personally, it happened to somebody close to you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of times when you go in those studios and shit, I've had it to where I'm pissed at somebody, I go off and I listen to it, I'm like, bro, that shit was not it. You know what I'm saying? You're wilding.
It's more like reaction, you know?
So just in terms of that, like I'm getting back to the spirituality thing.
But
in terms of that, how, you say you were insecure, stuff like that before. How have you developed it over time? Because like every time you text me, you put I, and you're always, I look at your Instagram and like, you're always talking about the third eye. You're like always into this spirituality type of thing. And it just always gets me as like, I've never seen Nadia mad. Like I've always seen her just trying to project herself as like, we're positive, we're happy today, this is what we do. So how have you come with that over time? Is it due to that past experience of being insecure and stuff, like just knowing that people you don't want people to feel like that, you know what I'm saying? Is that what it is?
Honestly, that's like one reason why. And because like I know we're able to experience emotions on a full spectrum.
Right.
But kind of like going back to what I was saying, I'm like, I don't want to react. I rather want to respond because it's kind of just like, okay, when shit hits the fan,
right,
how are you going to deal with it? Yeah. So it's like, that's the way I want to see it. Cause trust me, even like a couple years back, I used to be very angry. Like my family used to question like, why are you so angry?
Right.
Why are you so against the world and all this stuff like that? And that's one thing I don't portray because like, I don't want to say like, I don't want people to see that side of myself, but I'm like, that's not my authentic self. I know it's not. That's that's just because of my hurt. Like the ego, like my heart, like that's pain. And that's not even my own pain sometimes. Like I'm carrying other people's pain and I'm like, why do I have to keep projecting that outward? Why not transmute that into something positive? You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of times too, especially me being Latin, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm Latin.
That's it.
But I feel like a lot of times we do carry a lot of shit with us. Like I think our families are so tight knit sometimes that we just carry so much shit. Yeah. Like it's just like, this one will cheat on this one's going to jail, this one's getting deported back this place. And you're like, what the fuck do I do? So tell me how you feel like, in terms of music and stuff, how that's, because I feel like also hearing Fractured is kind of let me know this is also therapeutic. Like this is not just me doing music and I'm here. This has also become something where I could come and find a safe space. So tell me how that's become therapeutic, like your music and your creation of music. Just all together.
Yeah. No, I love that question. Yeah. What's it called? It's funny because it started off like in high school when I had this one class with my teacher. Shout out to Miss Clancy.
Shout out to her.
She we had like a poetry like session. Like it was like in the curriculum. So I remember like writing a few poems and like I was really like hurting during that time. Yeah. So like I wrote it. And then like when I read it out loud to the class was just like, damn, So it's, and then I realized what even looking back, a couple years later, I was just like, damn, like I'm really able to like put something into words and really help me process it because like growing up, like, I never had like a secure, safe, emotional space to talk about like what had happened to me too. Same with like kind of with my grandmother. Yeah. Because, my parents are busy, they're working all the time or they're just tired. They don't have that emotional availability. Right. And even the people that I was surrounding myself with, I still love them. Everyone I love to this day. Right. But definitely it was, I ended up almost trying to save them and then like, trying to almost, and I get caught up trying to save them and fix them instead of working on myself, know, and I was like, damn, like, how can I do this? So I started like journaling a little bit and then again, started writing like certain like, poems. Right. And I realized I'm like, eventually I started kind of like writing that into my like captions as well on Instagram before. Right. Kind of just like some type of poetry that rhymes and again, it makes you really think or like see deeper in the surface. Yeah. So I was, man, like I just felt like I'm like I could if no one else could create that space for me, like you have to create it your own. Yeah. And I even like with people, like other people, they always like, I'm like I have random strangers or even my closest people, they'll like talk to me about their most personal things. Oh my fucking God, I hate that. And shit. I'm just like what's it called? Like a safe. Like I'm just like all these secrets locked up and stuff, and I'm like, damn, like. So,
do you ever get sick of that though, being a person that they always come to? Like, to me, it's so fucking annoying. Like, I hate to say it. I love everybody. Me and Nadia love y'all. But it's just like, it's just a lot too, bro. It's just like, I'm going through so much shit in my life. Yeah. And now I'm getting 20 DMs a day about your abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And it's like, they never look at the impact it has on you.
Yeah, they don't.
They just don't care.
Yeah. No, that's just real, dude.
It's just like, and to me, it's like, I remember one time, this is real, like, it's talking about music is therapy.
Of course.
I was talking to one of my cousins and he was having a hard time with one of his girls. And I kind of put it in a song and I just wrote about it because I'm like, fuck it, I need to get this shit out.
Yeah.
And like 2 weeks later, like I get like this big long fucking DM, like, bro, the fuck, like, like put my shit out there like in a song. And I'm like, I didn't use no names. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just having it be a safe space for me. And he's like, nah, bro. But, you know, I think in terms of music, you saying that it's become therapy. I didn't even let you finish. If you want to finish.
No. You got it.
I'm new to this too. So it's like a lot of times you can see I'm just bouncing around, just having fun with it.
Right. I like it though. It's stimulating.
Yeah, it's different. But in terms of music being therapy, that's for sure. But let's get to the fun part.
Yeah.
You know, last week you posted, or this week you posted a picture with a dude in Times Square. One of your boys. And if you don't know who Nadia is, let's just say she plays for the same team that I do.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So when we in the club and there's the honeys around, she's not looking at us in the VIP section. She's also looking for the honeys as well. So tell me a little bit about that situation and trying to figure out why she told me before we started she lost 10 followers. Y'all are hurt out here. That is crazy.
I was like, damn. For that, you know, I was like, either people think I'm taken, and if not, they think I'm a fraud. They're like, no, this bitch straight as fuck. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, fuck. And I get it. I look like I'm straight passing, but nah, guys.
Yeah. Oh man. It's just funny because like I remember I remember like looking at your comment section during that time and some dude wrote like, so I guess how the DMs were for nothing. And I'm like like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, yo, it's damn. Yeah, I have so many people have been questioning us. Not really my family because they already know.
They already know what type of time you're on.
My boy's manager, or my boy, he's the manager as well for me.
Okay, shout out to him.
Shout out to Chris, Casper.
Shout out to Casper.
That's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like his family was questioning it. They're like, "Are you sure she's?" Cause she don't even look, you know, gay or anything. And I'm
but like that's my thing too. Cause mad people was telling me that like after you posted the picture, like, bro, but she don't even look like. I'm like, so what the fuck is that? What does that mean? Like, are you supposed to look a certain type of way? Like, damn. I'm like, damn, what type of typecast shit is this? Like, but tell me to Casper and forget home name. AJ. Yeah. Tell me about your relationship with them and how that's going and what they're helping you with and what they're doing for you.
Man, honestly, AJ actually got me connected to the short film where I met Casper at. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually we're having a short film, Be Mine. It's called Be Mine. Premiering July 9th at the Apple Cinemas.
Make sure you go check that out. Yeah. I will try to pop out. I don't know if I will be able to, but I will try to. But yeah, so tell me a little bit about acting. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a whole different lane.
I know. Yeah. So it's crazy because when I got invited to this, AJ actually invited me to a music video, and that's where I kind of started with a little bit of the acting. Okay. He was like, you know, you should take this seriously. I'm like, chill. I'm like, I gotta focus on one thing at a time, you know, because I like to multitask. Right. I'm trying to balance that. But he actually, like I said, he invited me to this short film. I was supposed to be an extra. I was an extra actually. I met Casper there. He was supposed to play one of the hoes. Yeah. And like he was flirting in front of his girlfriend with me. Oh, so funny thing is, you know, I was swearing good, like I seemed straight to him and all that stuff. So funny thing, he was like, why not? He was like, let's just see where this goes. You know, shoot his shot. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm coochies. That's it. And he was like, bet. He was like, word. And then like from that point on, honestly, with them, like they're just mad. I'm grateful to be connected with them because they're some real authentic. They live with purpose. They have their goals.
Yeah.
And they're really like working hard towards like what they want, and they're actually including the community with that too. So of course me. So acting is something I would love to do because that's one thing I want to incorporate in my music videos is to be like somewhat cinematic.
Yeah.
And kind of, I'm not gonna lie, inspired to Marcus. You know, I see the way he be acting.
Shout out to my cousin. Bremo, what's up, man? Where you at?
You do amazing, phenomenal job. So, you know, the way he captures like his art
his
and
vision,
everything, his vision and everything, bro. I'm just like, I'm like, I feel you. I'm like, I feel you. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you too before, you know, we end out and stuff. Is the Fractured video, the trailer, that shit looks crazy. Like I was like, this is like she's on the beach, she's on the jetties. I'm like, we're getting deep now. We're getting deep. Right. So, is there any timetable on what's going on with that, or what's happening, or tell us, give us a little bit?
Of course. So it is in the works right now. It's just more or less I'm finding a date with the actors so we could play out the story in a way, the way I told you about like with my grandmother. I'm basically kind of putting that in the music video as well. So it's just more or less finding the date, the script's written up and everything. And I'm able to record it, but I probably would have like either AJ or even Casper help me out with just like pressing the button type thing.
Okay, pressing the button, yeah. Are you editing videos yourself? Don't tell me you're doing everything by yourself.
In a way, yeah. So the video, I actually reached out to my girl Dami. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
shout
you know Dami.
Yeah.
And I asked him like, is it possible you're free on this day? She's like, fortunately I am. So she lives like right down the street from the beach type thing. So I was like, bet. We pulled up. I got my stand for my ring light. Okay. And we just put it on there. And she was able to just like record and just like help me move the camera because I told her like what the vision was. And she was, honestly, she did a phenomenal job. She's not a videographer at all. It just looked
so like professional. I was like, wow, like I'm intrigued. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it looked crazy. But
of course,
shout out to her, man. You got some good friends behind you.
No,
I have one good friend. The rest of them don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now. Like, you know,
no, dead ass. No, but I'm honestly grateful for the people I met these past few years, and still in contact with them because they really have helped a lot and supported me through a lot.
Definitely. I also want to end it with you asking you this question. You talk about it a lot on your Instagram, and you talk about a lot of the spirituality thing, but manifestation is one of the biggest things you talk about.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, what do you manifest for this career, and where do you see this career going in terms of how far you want to take this?
Sheesh, man. Honestly, it's like I have an end goal, but I feel like there's like multiple end goals at the same time. So it's like stages to it. Yeah. So I definitely want to start like reaching worldwide. Right. That's, the main thing. I want to be able to travel, take care of my family in the meantime while all this is going on. Yeah. And really, really just impact the people, like, because I want people to know like they're not alone in it. Because I've really like been I felt alone, and that's not a good feeling at all. No, so never. I want people to know like, there's other artists like us, out here that like want you to like feel your shit, want you to live the best life you can, and know that like you have control of your life as much as everything. There's a lot of things out of our control. Right. It's written type thing, type thing. So, when it comes to manifestation, I'd be writing my goals. I'd be putting out like whiteboards, stuff like that, just to make sure like, okay, everything is going to plan. Yeah. So, That's dope. Yeah. Listen, from ShopRite to here, it seems so crazy. Sitting here with you and knowing that you've come this long. Fractured is out right now. The EP is what? When is that? That comes out this Friday. Plug it real quick. This Saturday, April 8th. Saturday, my fault. No, you good. That's it. This Saturday, plug it real quick. Tell them what's going on. Yeah. So I got a 2-song EP album coming out. We got a little reggaeton and we got a little like alternative pop. One of them is more like a fiesta vibe. The other one is more like a personal kind of like talking about my journey. Okay. So I feel like it definitely correlates with the EP name Nomad. I like to think of myself, I'm a nomad, or like
I like that,
or like everyone in a way is a nomad, because we're always adapting to changes. We meet new people, we leave people behind, but we always leave them with some type of impact. Right. So, you know, that was the intention.
That's a dope name for a project. I like that for a start. You know what I'm saying? You could make a lot of twists and turns off that. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. I mean, 2-song EP. Like I said, Fractured is out right now. The music video is coming soon.
For sure.
If you don't know NadaButVibes, you will definitely know her very soon. Like I said, I bring everybody on the standout for a reason. And when I see somebody doing something real big and there's something real big behind them, I got to bring them on here. I appreciate you for coming. Plug your Instagram, plug everywhere you're at, and just let them know at home so they know.
I bet. So you can follow me at NadaButVibes on Instagram, TikTok. I believe my Twitter something else, but even if you want to, you could tap into the bio on my Instagram where it has the rest of my socials, and you guys could go directly to the link on all streaming platforms for Fractured, and then you could pre-save Nomad, the EP.
Pre-save that now. Make sure you go check her movie out when it comes out.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Go to Apple Cinema. And this has been the Standout Podcast, where everyone and anyone could be a standout. I also have to give a shout out to the Pa Lounge, 171 Orange Street, New Haven, Connecticut. Shout out to my girl Deja for allowing me to come in here every weekend and annoy her and be late. And I was late as hell today, y'all, but she cool with it. Shout out to New Haven Sound Studio, my boy Dre God. Make sure you go tap in with his performances. You already know what time it is. NadaButVibes in the building.
Let's get it.
We out. Shoot me out the gym.
Peace.